Welcome to the seventh episode of the Virtual Talent Room podcast, a podcast dedicated to virtual conversations with the unemployed youth from the townships of Cape Town in South Africa, aged between 18 and 35 years old. Listen in and experience our guests as they talk about the impact of unemployment on their lives and their families, as they share their career experiences and the value they bring to corporates. I'll be your host, Mandisa Makubalo, and in today's episode, I'll be talking to the talented Zandile Mguli. I will allow her to introduce herself.
Hi there, my name is Zandile Mguli. I am connecting with you guys from Gugulethu in Cape Town.
Okay, thank you, Zandile. And maybe for the listeners, just tell us about, so who's Zandile? Tell us about yourself. Who's Zandile?
Okay, so Zandile is a very, very shy person. So with that, it makes me shy away from opportunities. However, I am a very ambitious person. I'm a team player when it comes to certain things. And I am coming from a family of four, and my mom is the only source of income. She is a domestic worker. She supports me, my two younger sisters, and her sister. So in terms of finding a job, it is very difficult at the moment. However, with this, I'm here today to make things easier on my side.
Okay, so let's see if we can change things for your family. Let's see if we can transform the situation at home. Let's see if we can catch some eyeballs through this conversation. So Zandile, you're unemployed right now, am I correct?
Yes, I am. I'm
And
very much unemployed.
Yeah, so tell me, how has that been like for you? I think you might have touched on that a little bit, but maybe just tell me and the listeners how it's been for you emotionally, financially, psychologically, and your family. Been the impact on your family?
So currently, I was working for a company called Libra Productions. So we were busy promoting Captain Morgan as a rum. It's like alcohol. So what we do, we will go to different types of taverns in the location and we promote the bottle. But because of the COVID regulations or restrictions,
Yes.
we cannot longer do that because the alcohol ban has affected us, and it has affected us financially because we were depending on what we were getting from them.
Yes.
And now it sets back everything for me because now I have to depend on my mother, who is already supporting the four of us at home.
Yes.
So with that, I cannot do my personal stuff. And it has also affected me personally because now I tend to be at home. I tend to not even go to the internet and surf whatever that needs to be served because of the money is not there.
Yeah.
So as I've said, that it has affected me personally, because now I'm not more out there expressing myself the way I want. I feel like I'm limited in certain things because when you don't have your own money, it limits you to reach certain things. So I have to accept the situation as it is. But now that I'm here, I'm finding a solution to move forward.
Okay, thank you so much, Zandile. Is there anything specific that you maybe might have learned through this process that you feel that you took it for granted before, and now that you've been at home, you've had some time to reflect?
Yes, because I was doing a business before, I was running the business at home. I was using the garage as a station, and I'm surrounded by schools, primary schools, so I was able to connect with the teachers if they maybe want to order some lunch or they want to order a specific lunch, maybe they're running a workshop. So I was able to provide for them. So one thing I've learned is that with the equipment that I've had, I wish I had ordered a gas stove instead of electrical because with electrical, I'm not able to be mobile. But with the gas stove, I'm able to move from this direction to another direction.
Yes.
And I was also, what I do weekends, there's also these ghetto sessions that they run in Kailita. So sometimes I will go and attend, sometimes I don't, because the power of using electricity was too much. We're using this one power. So it limits me to run my business, which is the business was a food service, fish and chips, which they love, but then thing I didn't think of that I know now because of the experience I have was to order the equipment that will make me go mobile with
Yes.
what I was servicing.
Okay.
So going forward, now I know what to have and what kind of equipment I need to use running a business.
I actually love that because I do think that as much as COVID-19 has brought and caused so much death across the globe, there's so much creativity and innovation that it's forced. Because had it not been for COVID-19, I don't think you'll be able to have thought that far. So there's a good side to it, and there's a bad
It has
side
opened
because
our minds.
yes, it's almost like this forced change that has taken place. So thank you so much, Zandile, for that response. We're going to move to the exciting questions now. So I hope you're ready. So the first question that I have, I think you might have responded to it already. The key challenge that's facing businesses that you can think of. I think you spoke about two, about the company you're working for, where you guys were promoting alcohol beverages, and because of lockdown restrictions, you guys had to stop. Another one is the one that you spoke about, the mobility that you don't have now because you were using electricity, but you realized that if you had maybe invested in a gas stove, you would have been able to be mobile and still make money.
Yes.
Is there anything that you can think of outside of those two? Or if that's okay with you, I'm also happy with that.
In terms of how to maneuver the business, right?
Yes.
What else I'm thinking of is that just to host every weekend, maybe you have a host of maybe, let's say, a book session.
Okay, yes.
In your whatever space you have at home. You host a book session, you call in people to come, and then with that, you just do a finger food or a takeaway of some sort, but calling people together and share experiences of maybe you've worked in a certain company, maybe you've worked in a small company, but what are the common things?
Yes.
So if maybe one person can host that every weekend, and then that's where you get ideas from other people, you engage yourself in such, and then you come back with that, and then you share it with the company that you're working for, or you just bring in something new that maybe they didn't think of.
Yes. So that's the power of collaboration and networking with other people.
Networking, yes.
Okay, I love that. Zandile, can you maybe give me your top 3 values? So what are the things that you hold dear that are your values and they inform your decisions about a lot of things personally and vocationally as well, or as a business person, like you said? What are the values that you hold very dear to Zandile?
So I will take it from the business side. Since I had the opportunity to start my business, I saw that I don't take things for granted. Being that is the time management. And sometimes we tend to hire people that we know, and because we know each other, you think we're going to be in the same level of friendship or whatever the case is, but be it in the business, it means business. If I'm the one who's leading you, you need to listen to what I'm telling you, and don't take it in a sense of, I'm your friend, but why would you speak to me in this way? Business is business. So if I want a certain thing to be done in a certain way, that's how you need to take my roles or whatever the case is. Being a team player and also lead by example. You cannot
Yes.
tell people what to do if you're not able to do it
I
yourself. So
love that.
you have to do it yourself, and then they will be able to follow you. And that's being said a team player or a leader without
Yes.
them saying it. So you have to show your abilities, and what you say is also what you are doing, so that they can learn from you without
Yes.
you being maybe harsh or whatever the case is.
I love that. I
And
love the
also,
leading by example. I love that.
yes, and also when you say be professional, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be in this manner. You can always carry that wherever you go, maybe with your family gathering, with your friends, going out. You still have to carry the same persona. It doesn't need to change just because you are out of the formal premises and then you act
Yes.
a different way. Even whatever you post on Facebook or whatever social network you engage yourself with, you still need to keep that person who you came as a professional person
Yes.
throughout.
I love that. So, how can you use one of these values you spoke about to help your prospective employer? So, which of those four values you spoke about being a team player? You spoke about the fact that you lead by example. You can't say the one thing and do the opposite. You have to do what you ask people to do. You spoke about being professional, and that only doesn't stop at work, but it's how you carry yourself in your conversations
Mm,
with family outside of
yeah.
work. So and time management was the first one. So which of those
Mm.
values do you think that is very, very close to Zandile? And how do you think you can take that value to help your prospective employer?
Okay, what I will take out from this is being a team player. Being a team player is where you are able to express yourself. It's where you are able to share ideas and learn from each other,
Mm,
because you are able to not only isolate from isolate yourself from certain things, but you're able to reach certain things and certain people's ideas and
mm,
combine together and work as a team. So working as a team, it makes you also relax. It makes you feel like you have people who support you, but you are also supporting them and motivate one
yes,
another.
I love that.
So at the end of the day, you can't do something by yourself. You need
Yes,
people to grow together
yes,
and build something together as a
yes,
team, as family, and be
yes,
able to take it outside from the work premises and maybe take it to other places and
yes.
explore.
I
So
love that.
with that, so I would like to carry that when I come to a certain business, that being a team player, it helps people to share ideas
Mm.
and strengthen one another.
I love that. I love that. I love that, Sandile. And my second last question to you is, so let's look at the culture of a business. You know, companies have different cultures. I'm sure your family has a specific culture that you follow. So what type of culture does Zandile prefer? And or maybe I should say, what kind of culture do you feel that it brings the best out in Zandile?
Um, can you elaborate like
So,
what
for example,
culture?
you have companies that have a family-oriented culture where you feel like you are an employee, you don't feel like a number. The company cares about Zandile. They want to know, they want to develop you and grow you. Some companies, you get into a company, the culture is very bureaucratic. They follow you, they don't trust you, they watch you do everything you do, they watch you. The culture is a culture where it's very punitive, you are punished, so there's different cultures that companies have. So what culture do you believe that as Zandile, you'll be able to add the greatest value and it will grow and nurture Zandile?
Okay, if I get the question correctly, what I feel like um, bringing some sort of a culture in the business is maybe have some sort of, I won't say a workshop, but something that will collect everyone from different, because you're coming from different backgrounds. So
Yes.
it's sometimes it's not easy to trust one another, even within the company itself. Um, so if we have some sort of activities
Mhm.
within the workplace. If you have certain activities, then that's when you learn how is a certain person cooperate, or
Yes.
how I cooperate, or how I engage myself in a whatever that is put out there. So if we have maybe some sort of activities to get to know each other, then that's maybe it will pay out for everyone, because coming to work Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, but you don't know who I am. But you hear, but you don't know who I am. But if you bring in these activities where you can see me physically, how I express myself without maybe talking to you over the phone, you don't even know how I look or whatever the case is. I mean, I'm just speaking to my boss, but we don't know each other, but I know she or he's my boss. But you have activities that is including everyone at the workplace, then that's when we get to know each other. And then from there, it's gonna be easier for everyone to trust one another, to have each other's back, and to motivate and to be self-driven about
Okay.
certain things
I
within the
hear you.
business.
So I guess that culture for you, it's a culture where there's this, again, I would say probably say family, because if there are activities the company is running that allows you to get to know one another. So it's a family
Mm-hmm.
culture where people care for one another, we know one
Mm-hmm.
another, we are a
Yeah,
tribe.
we
So there's a
groom.
tribe,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, okay, I love that. And then I have a question for you now. So let's say I'm Santa Claus and I'm bringing you this basket, and the basket is filled with positions. So, which
Okay.
positions do you believe that you will add the greatest value when you are in those positions? So, given your experience, I
Okay.
know you mentioned that you worked in the contact center before, and then you ran your own business where you were selling from home, and then you also worked in the promotion space where you were promoting products for this company. So, based on those roles that you've occupied before and your experiences, I'm asking you to tell me now which roles do you believe that you can add the greatest value when you are placed in those positions?
Okay. What's the experience that I have? I've noticed that I don't like to be restricted, like in to work in one place. So I like something that is challenging. I
Mhm.
like to be challenged. I like to, because if I don't get to be challenged, then I don't see a point of being in this. And it, like I like to move around in the business.
Okay.
So if maybe I will be working in a place like a busy place, maybe like an airline, or a place where I know I interact with people like personally, besides over the phone, because with that you're just sitting in one place and
Mm.
like there's no challenge. But if I get to see the person, and I get to be the person challenges me according to whatever that the offer is, then I'm able to solve the problem without being responding negatively or raising my voice, but just to calm myself when you're in the situation of this person is being rude or whatever the case, then I know
Mm.
how to solve the problem. So I like to work with people face to face,
Okay.
and anything that is challenging, like moving me from one place to another and
Okay.
see
Okay.
opportunities within.
So you would say an environment that's customer facing. So you could
Mm-hmm.
be a customer service officer or assistant. You could
Yeah,
do well with an administration function, but administration and working with customers. Is that what you're
yes,
saying? And
yes,
anything like a receptionist position, if you are dealing with customers over the counter
yes,
and you're working with customers. Because
yes,
remember, the airline
exactly.
is industry is quite big, and in the airline,
Yes,
there's different positions that are available. So anything that allows you to interact with customers,
with people.
with
Yes,
people. Okay, okay, okay. I
yes.
hear that. And then,
Because I love working with people.
okay, okay, that's fine. Do you have experience with working with computers?
Mm, not really. I just did the literacy
At the time when you worked for
computer
the
skills.
contact center, which was, I know it
Yes,
was quite a
yes,
while back, but in that
yeah,
space, you
yes,
obviously worked on a computer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
you
I do.
have some experience. It might not be at an expert level, but you do have
Yes, yes,
experience with working with
I do have.
computers. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. There's no problem. So today, Zandile, I want to thank you first of all for taking the time to coming through and having this conversation with us. Um, just to end off our conversation, I just want to do a quick recap of our conversation. So today I've had Zandile Mguli. She's from the township of
Mm.
Gugulethu. I know Gugulethu means our pride, eh?
Yes.
She comes from Gugulethu, which means our pride. It's a township in
Yes.
Cape Town. She lives with her mom and her two sisters and her aunt. She's got experience in
And
the
an
contact
aunt.
center industry. She's had her own business, working from home, selling, it was a food business. And Zandile has also worked for a company doing promotional work. Zandile is a team player. Zandile believes that one cannot lead without being an example. You have to actually, whatever you say, you have to do that for people to be able to buy into what you said. Zandile has experience with working with computers. She's looking for a position that will allow her to interact with customers face to face. We know that right now we are dealing in a time where there's COVID-19 level lockdown restrictions have been relaxed. So there are companies that have been opened that allow people to actually just interact with customers. So Zandile, if you want to connect with Zandile, we will facilitate the connection between Zandile and yourself. We will leave our details at the end of this conversation where you can come in and just leave your information, and we will ensure that we connect you to Zandile. Zandile, I do thank you very much for your time, and I really do hope that this conversation will change a situation for you at home. You'll be able to attract um, employers and recruiters, and we can secure you a job, because that's what we're about, showcasing talent. I know that you said at the beginning you were shy. I don't see that. I don't see the shyness in you. I've enjoyed this conversation very much. I don't see anything shy.
I try by all means not to show, but I am a very shy person. Once I'm given something, then I do my best.
But it
I'm
can
so
actually be
driven.
it can actually be a strength. It doesn't have to be a weakness. It can be a
I
strength.
find it sometimes I find it as a weakness because I end up shying away from good things. But
Okay.
once I get familiar with something, even if it's just 30 minutes, 5 minutes or so, then I'm game on.
Okay. So that's what happened with this interview. At the beginning, you were shy, and then you came
I
out of your
was.
shell. Thank you so much, Zandile, and have yourself a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Virtual Talent Room podcast with me, your host, Mandisa Makubalo. To connect with our guest, kindly visit our website at www.theunlimitedco.com and drop your details on the Contact Us page of the website. Alternatively, you can drop your details on the comments section just below this episode. Catch us again next week as we bring you more talent. Remember, our goal is to develop the township economy one talent at a time.